Michael Hutchins.
Mike Moore.
Gary Lewis.
Tommy Puckett. I started here in 1985, actually. So this is technically, I guess, my 39th year. So I'm not quite 40 like these old guys that you're going to be interviewing. So I'm the young guy.
And I've worked here for 40 years.
This past April was my 40th year here.
I've been at Pella 41 years in August.
Well, Gary Lewis, friend of mine that I've known all my life, he had went to work at Pella.
A couple of months before that, they needed some help in the warehouse. So this was going to be a temporary job until something broke through, and I'd be back in construction. Been here ever since.
I just answered a blind ad. I was pretty well stuck in my position in the building material part. And so I wanted to change, and I answered that blind ad. And Gerald called me on the phone and invited me in for an interview, and it went great from there.
As far as training the sales position, I kind of watched Mike Moore and Tommy Puckett. I learned a lot from them, and still learn. Tommy Puckett is a great asset to this company because he will take the time to figure out a problem or show you how to. We go to Tommy every day.
And you're right. I have seen a lot of people come and go. Some people are just looking for a temporary job, and they keep to that. They don't stay long. It was a service guy in Northwest Arkansas and one in Springfield that had stayed for a long time. And we would always, if we run into something new, call the other one up and say, this is what I seen, today. And if y'all run across it, better way to do it, let us know, let me know. And they've been gone for a long time now. And the turnover is not as much now as what it was there at one time. So that makes it a lot better too.
Be honest. And, because there's plenty of other window and door companies out there they're not all honest. So just shoot them straight. You'll come out better in the long run.
For me, it's be prompt. Get a quote back to people. Answer their questions. Deal with it now. When I get phone calls or have a message that someone's got a problem, that's the first one I deal with that day. I'm like, I'm not putting that off. I'm gonna deal with it right now. So you just got to face it head on and deal with it right now. And then just do what you say. Be on time. I'm early. So early make sure I'm on time. Just things like that. I've always said if I was a new salesperson starting today, it's kind of difficult to grasp the broadness of our product. And I know what I know from way back then, and they don't even know what we had back then. But to learn it back then wasn't that difficult because it was pretty simple product line. But from then till now, tremendous change, tremendous additions, and I've been fortunate just to build on that year after year after year.
First of all, success doesn't come overnight. I mean, this is something that you have to work at. You have to, this is a relationship type business, and you have to build relationships. And so it's not going to come overnight. It's the old saying, it's like selling insurance. You have to start somewhere.
I think 8 years ago, Mike Farquhar come along and saved the day because we didn't know that we were about to all get our pink slips the following week, But so that day that he come, the first time I remember meeting Mike was we had a mandatory meeting, and we've never had a mandatory meeting, So you knew it was something serious, or big about to happen, and he came along at the right time and kept all of our jobs, And
one thing that I've always enjoyed with the ownerships here, I mean, if you're doing your job, they will back you up. And that's all I needed was just back up, because you get into certain situations where, it was way over my head. I didn't know if I could do something or not. That was up to the owners, and they've always supported me. So I've always appreciated that from them.
Big changes really whenever Mike took over. They did put some docks in the back of the warehouse back there. We always unloaded an 18-wheeler out of the back of the truck without a dock, and loaded our trucks like that 30-something years. That made it a lot easier, a lot better, a lot easier on the help. That made a big difference. volume wise, it's a lot more now than what it used to be. Used to, we stayed busy. I mean, we done a lot, but with all of it being the shop work being done now by Pella, then the product gets unloaded, puts in the warehouse, and then it's loaded back out, goes to the job site. We had to do all of that work back whenever I started, getting it ready to go to the job site. So you was building each individual job and pretty much loading it and delivering it at that time instead of ordering it in when it got ready to ship, just load it back up, take it to the job. So that's been a big change after they started doing that.
I've never taken a computer course in my life. It would just get down there and doing it, you know, and then making mistakes and then learning from the mistakes. And I used to wear them out. I mean, I would be down in Tommy's office, or I'd ask, you know, one of the support people here that was savvy on computers, man, what am I doing? You know, what do I need to do? So, you know, over time, period of time, and I know they were sick of it, but dadgummit, I was determined to learn it because, man, I'd have contractors call me and want to make a change, and man, I didn't even know how to make a change, but boy, I do now, baby.
But your goal in life is to work and retire. You work all your life, 40 years, 50 years, and then retire and enjoy a few, you know. So yeah, I'm ready for that day. It's not here yet, and I'm not sure what day that'll be.
That's the $1 million question. My wife says no, because she's 5 years younger than me, and she's a school teacher, and she thinks she's going to retire in 5 years. So she says I cannot retire before her. My financial advisor says no. He says at least 10 more years.
I guess me and Mike and Tommy, all of us has got somewhere close to 40 in, and that's kind of, to me, that's kind of amazing for people to stay at the same place for that long.
One of these days, when I look back on my history, and I talked to a lot of people outside Pella of it, and they said, "You've been with one company 40 years?" And I said, "Yes, I have." And they said, "Man, it must be a remarkable company." Plus, it is business 40 years ago, and what business is now is like night and day. I mean, they don't even resemble each other. So, and you know, I've always used a cockroach. I'm like a cockroach. You have to adapt. And I feel like I've adapted.
A friend of mine, this was years ago, we were just having a discussion, whatever, just about work and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, "Tommy, you are the only person I know who loves his job." And I'm like, "Oh, wow. Well, I do love my job." And I thought, that's kind of sad. I don't think it's true, but yeah, you look around, a lot of people are not happy with their job. And so when he said that, you're the only person I know that loves his job, I'm like, yeah, that's the way it ought to be. So I'm still here. It's not just windows and doors like I think people think, oh, windows and doors, you just go to the store and buy them off the shelf. No, that's not how it works. And that's why we have a job, because the product is so vast and unique, and all the attributes that we can offer. That's what kind of makes it fun for me.
That's one of the questions I'm asked, you know, daily is, how long have you worked for Pella? And I'll tell them 40 years. And here just, you know, in August, you know, August was 40 years. And they're just shocked. They're like, 40 years? Man, they must pay good, you know. But it pays better now than what it did way back then, you know. But yeah, and when you tell them you've worked there 40 years, then they know it's a company that's been around a long time. And that helps, you know, to, you know, they're on the right track to work with Pella Products of Arkansas, Missouri, right here in Little Rock, Arkansas.